and the single largest, longest-lasting blank on every world map for 2,000 years was not the north that Olaus filled with serpents. It was the bottom of the world, the south, the place we now call Antarctica, which, according to the textbooks, no human being laid eyes on until 1820, and which had no business being on any map at all. So, before you accept that the monsters are decoration, you should ask one question. Why is the most carefully decorated part of the old maps the part that was supposedly empty? And why, when the emptiness was finally filled, did the monsters and the questions both quietly disappear at the same time? To understand any of this, you have to understand what a map actually was before it became the satellite-perfect image you carry in your pocket. We treat a map as a record of what someone went and saw. For most of history, it was nothing of the kind. A map was an argument. It was a claim about the shape of the world, built out of fragments. A sailor's account here, a classical author there, a merchant's distances, a monk's cosmology, and over all of it, the cartographer's own reasoning about how the pieces had to fit. Where the fragments existed, the map showed places. Where they did not, the map showed the mapmaker's mind. And the mind of the Renaissance mapmaker was certain of one thing above almost all others. There had to be a continent at the bottom of the world. The reasoning went back to the Greeks. The known landmasses all clustered in the northern half of the globe, and to the geometers and philosophers this felt like a body standing on one leg. The Earth required balance. The weight of Europe and Asia and Africa in the north demanded a counterweight in the south, an immense southern land to keep the planet from tipping over in the imagination of men who could not yet sail there to check. Ptolemy, whose geography ruled European thought for over 1,000 years, drew the Indian Ocean as a closed lake, ringed on its southern side by an unknown land that joined Africa to Asia. The land had a name before anyone had seen so much as a grain of its sand. They called it Terra Australis Incognita, the unknown southern land. And on map after map, for century after century, they drew it. You can watch them do it. Mercator, in his great world map of 1569, gives the South a colossal continent that dwarfs everything above it, lapping up toward the tip of South America and swelling beneath Africa and the Indies. Abraham Ortelius, in 1570, in the first true atlas ever bound and sold, the Theatrum Orbis Terrarum, prints the same enormous southern landmass and labels it the southern land not yet known. These were not lunatics. These were the most respected geographers in Europe, men whose names we still attach to map projections and to the very idea of an atlas. And they filled the bottom of the world with a continent that no European had visited, because their entire understanding of the planet insisted that it must be there. Now hold those two facts beside each other, because this is where it stops being a tidy story about old-fashioned ignorance. The mapmakers drew a southern continent out of pure philosophy, and there is, in fact, a continent exactly where they drew one. Antarctica is real. It sits at the bottom of the world, more or less where Ptolemy's reasoning demanded a southern land should sit. The men who invented it on parchment turned out to be standing on the right answer for, by every conventional account, entirely the wrong reasons. The monsters lived in that same southern unknown. On the Terra Australis maps, the great phantom continent is ringed with sea beasts. The southern ocean churns with serpents and whales and creatures with no names at all, because that water was the deepest reservoir of the unknown that any mapmaker possessed. The north could be filled with sailors' tales. The Mediterranean was crawled over and measured. but the far south was the one place where the map could not pretend to knowledge, and so it became the place where the map was most alive with imagination. The monsters were not decorations sprinkled over a finished picture. They were a confession. They marked, with surprising honesty, the exact border where the world stopped being known and started being invented. And the largest stretch of that border ran along the bottom of every map, around the land we were not supposed to know existed. So what actually happened to the monsters, and to the continent, and to the questions both of them raised? This is where you have to follow two threads at once, because the official answer and the inconvenient answer are sitting on the same parchment. The official answer is the reasonable one, and it deserves to be taken seriously. The stated reason the monsters vanished from maps is that maps grew up. As exploration filled in the coastlines and instruments grew precise, the argument goes, there was simply no more room for fantasy. The empty spaces closed. The cartographer became a scientist instead of an artist, and the serpents were edited out the way a modern engineer would edit a dragon out of a blueprint. By the 1700s, the great maritime powers wanted charts that kept ships off rocks, not charts that entertained a duke. The monsters were not suppressed. They were simply made obsolete by knowledge. That is the story, and as far as it goes, it is true. But notice what the story quietly does. It tells you the monsters disappeared because the South was finally explored. And the timeline does not quite survive that claim, because the southern continent was not explored last. On the maps, it was filled in first, by inference, long before anyone reached it. And some of those early southern coastlines, drawn before any European is recorded as having seen them, are far more specific than a philosophical guess about cosmic balance should ever have produced. That is where the inconvenient thread begins. And it begins with a map found by accident in a palace. In 1929, the old Topkapi Palace in Istanbul was being converted into a museum, and a scholar cataloguing its libraries came across a fragment of painted gazelle hide. It was a piece of a world map, the surviving western third of a much larger chart, and it was signed and dated. The author was an Ottoman admiral and cartographer named Piri Reis, and the date was 1513. In his own notes on the map, Piri Reis explained that he had not surveyed these waters himself. He had compiled the chart from around 20 older source maps, some of them ancient, including, he wrote, a map that had belonged to Christopher Columbus. The fragment shows the Atlantic, the bulge of West Africa, the coast of Brazil, the Caribbean, and along the bottom, beneath the tip of South America, it shows a long stretch of coastline curving away to the east. For 400 years, that bottom coastline was just a curiosity, an Ottoman admiral's best guess at the edge of the world. Then, in the 1950s, an American named Arlington Mallory, and after him a history professor named Charles Hapgood, looked at that coastline and made a claim that has refused to die ever since. They said it matched Antarctica.
All right. Well, hello there. How you doing today? Campbell here, back with Paula again for another chat. And well, yes, a good rabbit hole today. Going to be following up on the last show with the Magyar, about the Magyar and Australia and land masses and what's going on. How you going, Paula?
Oh, I'm great, Campbell, and you?
Yeah, doing well. Had a bit of
That's
a
good.
cold, but I think I'm getting over it. I had a bit of a chest thing.
Oh, yeah, so many people have at the moment. It's not good.
Yeah,
Everyone's purging. They're purging the toxins.
I think so. I never get colds or sick or anything, so it's been a bit weird.
Yep.
I'm good
Yep.
now.
Well, that's good to hear, Campbell. You should be
Yes.
good. You've had a nice little break.
Yes, had a bit of a look around Tasmania. It was very cold though.
Yeah.
Definitely don't go there in the winter. That was not well thought out.
Oh, that's good.
Yes,
Well, yes, we've got
Tasmania.
this series is this, hey?
I said Tasmania. That's sort of what we're going to be talking
I think
about. A bit of that, aren't we?
yeah, well, yeah, definitely.
Wow.
And a
Okay.
lot of things actually. And this rabbit hole, oh God, Campbell, it's too much. It's
They're all
the
ever
thing is, one
expanding,
minute we
aren't
have
they?
no knowledge.
Hmm.
Yep. One minute we're not getting knowledge. Next thing, I was thinking about it the other day. You need the right key. And when you find the right key, it opens up to so much stuff that my phone is full of files. I have to get a laptop. Because the other day my bag went missing and I absolutely went into panic attack because everything I do is on this stupid phone. So I need to save up and get myself a laptop so I can file some of these things because it's just getting too big.
Yeah. No, I
I've just
hear
found
you.
so much, and I've found so much, Campbell, that I think some of it I don't think I can actually discuss on a platform.
Oh,
I'll see. I'm going to actually present it. I'm feeling at our Melbourne event,
yes,
the
yes.
Tartarian
The
event in
TAS event,
October.
31st of October. Yes,
It
I'll
will
put the
be a
link for
festival.
tickets. There will be a festival. Yeah, I'll put the link for tickets below. Come and check it out. It's going to be awesome. 2 days. So 1 day event with me and Kelly, and then day two, you're getting up there and a few other people too. I think it's going to be a bit of a
Yeah,
panel.
it's going to be huge. And it's day 3. We're going to the shrine. So it's the
Ah,
3-day event.
okay. Yeah, right. And
Yeah,
Nikki will be there as well, and she's done a ton of research on the shrine.
absolutely.
So
Dale
Dale
will
will be
be there.
there.
Um, I have heard rumours of other people that is going to be very exciting. So I'm not saying anything. But yes, I have been invited, which I'm absolutely over the moon about. And I want to talk about something that I've found in all this research. But yes, it answers a lot of things. And I will hopefully introduce it a bit later. So if you want to find out what I found out that can't be mentioned here, come to the event. Come and
Into
see
the
it.
event. Yes. Come and check it out. Get the good stuff. And, meet cool
Absolutely.
people, right?
Yep.
People that's always the biggest part is people meeting other people that they can talk to, right? Without censoring themselves.
That's exactly right. And gee whiz, do we talk? We love it. Absolutely love
Yep.
it. So I'm very, very honoured to be
Yep.
invited to the
Yep.
Tartarian event. And yeah, what a big difference from
Yes.
5 years ago.
Yes, I know. Yeah. 5 years since the first Melbourne gig. So this is
Yep,
number 3.
absolutely.
Yes.
So we'll get started, Campbell, because it's a big one today. So we've got a lot to cover. So the intro video that that people will be watching before we get on, yes, it's AI computer done and generated and everything, but like I've said before, I can't do that sort of graphics. I can't present it in that way. So if I find something that resonates with me that relates to what we're going to be talking about, I asked Campbell if he can please present that because it's a fabulous explanation of where we're going. So enjoy, everyone. And if you want to watch the full video, I think Campbell's going to put it in the links.
Yep. Link below.
Yeah. So let's get started. So the last time we were talking, we had Goz on, and Goz is
Yes.
an absolute, great knowledge of the Madja history and an untold, root language that no one knows about. But I think more and more people are starting to get very interested in that part. And the Madji, it stems back. We can follow that whole Madji story, or the Maga I used to call it, but right back to the Huns and Hungary and
Yeah.
a very old royal family of the Abba, and there's just so much more that can be found as well. But there were some things that I didn't get to talk about in the last video, and it actually pertains to what we're going to talk about today. So I made some notes, and here we go. So I believe we did touch a little bit on the past about, it's unfortunate that we can't get to the absolute truth, and this is just opinions and perspective, a perspective of truth that I see it. Like we always say, it's for entertainment only, and people can do their own research. But the thing is, we're not privy to hidden documents and manuscripts and private collections. But sometimes we are privy to these private collections, and that's when some of the truth does surface. And some of the maps that we're looking at, some of them actually came from private collections that haven't been seen for 400 years. Like the Monty map, which we'll go into detail another time. But the Monty map was hidden for over 400 years. There's another map that I think we're going to be looking at. Oh no, the Peri Risi map that was in Istanbul, which was Constantinople at one stage. So these maps and the truth can never be really hidden, and it will show when it needs to, and the people that need to see it will see it too. Because, as you've said and I've said, we notice that I've got notes and documents and pictures and that I've looked at and manuscripts that I've been reading. And I get halfway through and I think, that doesn't really relate, or it does relate, but I don't know how. And then all of a sudden, it could be a year, I'll go back to that manuscript or that picture that I screenshot, and bang, it's relating to what we're talking about. And that's what I found doing this research. So
it's like putting a jigsaw puzzle together, right? But you don't have the picture.
That's exactly right. And that's what I mean by the key. If we learn the key, and Gabriel has been that for me, he's given me the keys. He doesn't give me all the answers. He just gives me a key and a question or a subject. And when I go down that road, it's like, oh my God, these are connecting I can't believe how they're connecting. And they're opening up storylines that I wasn't prepared for.
Yes. And hello to Gabrielle and everyone in PNG. Hello.
Yes, hello. I know they're doing it not easy again over there at the moment. And, every time they try and do and get ahead, they get raided by certain policy makers. And I'm really sorry about that. It's not nice to hear.
No.
So I hope you're okay, Gav. So the reason why I said about the private collections, this is some of the stories that Goz has found. That I think some of these histories come up from private collections. So he talks about the Ashura text, which is spelled Aasura. So I probably won't pronounce anything right, but I'll spell it anyway. And of course, with our Australian language and accent, nothing ever sounds right. So it's an Ashura text.
Ashura.
Lost knowledge of Hungarian history.
Ooh.
Lost knowledge of the Hungarian Magi and Hun history. Traces back and contains periods of our true past. After the loss of significant so it says, after the loss of significant portions of land called Atish, Atish, but also spelled Ataisis. So Atish, that sunk in the named now Pacific Ocean.
Interesting.
Which now is also the Federation of Micronesia.
Which is where Nan Madal is.
And where they found lots of sunken.
Yeah, it's half. It literally starts on land and goes into the water, but there's lots around there. All that
stonework that's in the middle of nowhere, which also relates to something else that we'll be reading. So that is what is being presented from old texts from Hungary.
Wow. which
Most
is
of it,
interesting because it means that the Hungarian, whatever it was, right, empire was way down in the South Pacific as well.
oh yeah,
Mm.
that's exactly what Goz talks about. This whole area was the seed of family, which means we never came from Africa. That's part of their story, not ours. And they made sure it all fit, it all came into line, but no. So most of this large landmass, a very, very large island, most of it sunk and broke away. The survivors, the Magi, the Huns, went to what we know now as Australia, Papua, New Zealand, Tasmania, Fiji, Asia, Africa, and America. Could these be what we now discover the areas once called India Superior that Gabrielle talks about
Yes.
all the time?
Yeah, and I actually did a video on that. I don't know if you saw it a week or two
Yes,
ago,
yes.
showing I did find some maps that were alluding to, yeah, the top of Asia being called India as well, and then coming down and being joined up with Australia.
And what we know as America. America was
And
called Nova India Superior.
oh, okay. Haven't found that yet. Novus India. Yeah, right.
So we know
Well,
nothing,
it's
Campbell.
interesting, isn't it? Because
Mm.
they also tell us that the Indian texts are the oldest, the Ayurvedic kind of stuff, and the what are they called? Not sutras. I'll remember in a
Oh, I
minute.
don't know. I don't know.
They're like the Bhagavad Gita. What are they? Yeah,
Yes,
those
yes.
books. Yes.
So Gabriel talks of an ancient place called India Superior, which apparently didn't just parts of it just sank. It sank many times, the ancient lands. But it shows up as, yeah, in old maps of America. And I think in other parts of Asia and parts of maybe even Africa. I haven't really even looked. But we need to look at the really old maps because, and we'll go into India Superior in another video because there's just too much to talk about. So anyhow, I've got my little notes here. So then I also, after we did the, before we did the video with Goz, and I spoke to Gabriel, he's got back to me a few times because a few things have connected with him as well regarding the Madja language. So he mentioned, as I mentioned in that last video, and I'll repeat it now, is that the old language, and it's called Yahoo, which is spelled Yahu. So I'm probably saying it wrong. I don't have a Papua or accent.
Yahoo.
So it's the original Papua language as he knows it, the ancient language. He also knows it came from the Ebor people. Bloodlines and knowledge from India Superior. That sank and broke away, and the Ebor people had to flee to what is now known as America. This is from Gabriel. Back then, places like Nova India, the Gangles, a smaller part of old world India Superior that became the India that we know today. So if you look at some of those older maps, you will see Nova India, you will see India Gangles, and you'll see India Superior. You'll see India named a lot. So 4,500 years ago, there was a union of the Magi from the line called Meek, M-E-I-K, who was the mother, and Elam, E-L-Y-A-M, who was the father. The line also became Medes, M-E-D-E-S. Gabriel says that this comes, can't believe this, from an ancient line called Anshant. It's called the Anshant line, which is A-N-C-H-A-N-T line of ancient India Superior. Also they also are the originals left on the mainland of Australia. They are the people with straight hair. So we're going to talk about the mainland Australia because once it was all one land, which we're going to go into.
Mm.
So the Magi is a cousin to the original Huns people.
Interesting.
Magi
because I mean,
connection.
in the old maps of Tartaria, it includes China, right, which is basically the top of India Superior.
Yes,
Which is just
that's where I
interesting.
said when I did the fabrics and textiles, we're going to end up in Australia.
Yes, you did. Yes.
So, yes, so the Elam family line held the original first language of the Magi. Oh, my hairs are standing up. Oh, my God.
So that's India's Superior. So that's where we still find bits of the language, right? And it's connected to Australian original language.
Yep.
Not to mention that the people look identical pretty much, Northern Indians and Native Australians.
The Hindu Indians, very much so.
The dark-skinned ones, yeah.
Well, there's a whole video and it's absolutely amazing by a guy on YouTube, which I think people need to watch. I'll find it and send it to you. It explains what I'm going to talk about in a future series about the slavery and what they did. I won't get into that now, but yeah, that's a big one. So there's connections here. Not just that, but we have India, the Indies, the Spanish Royal Indies, the three Indies,
right.
the East Indies. We're going centuries forward now. The West Indies.
The West Indies. So the West Indies are called the West Indies. They're in the Caribbean. And
they're right over to America.
Basically, yeah. So they said Cristobal Colum, if that's what's his name, Columbus.
Yes.
They say that, yeah, he was looking for a pathway, right, to get through and thought he'd hit India.
Yeah, that's
so is the reason that they called the West Indies because it was actually still called, like America was called India back then.
India Superior.
India
yes,
Superior.
Or Nova India. Yes. And where do you think they get the Indian name from?
The
Red Indians.
The natives over there that they say they call them Indians. And this is all, being twisted through the Columbus story, right? That's right. That's pretty interesting.
Isn't it?
Do you remember that video that came out and it had those Indian men walking through the Grand Canyon and they said that they'd walked?
Yes, from India.
From India to America.
Exactly. That's exactly. We don't know where we live, Campbell.
Interesting, right?
We only know by the maps that they give us and
which
what
we
they
know
tell
are
us
wrong.
flights are. We just,
maps are so messed up. They give us a rectangle and tell us we live on a ball.
Yeah.
It's like, it's so dumb.
So we're mushrooms. What do they say? Left in the dark, fed on bullshit.
Fed bullshit. Yes, basically.
So another connection. The map makers erased the Eastern Indian Ocean and replaced it with a gargantuan independent body of water and called it the Pacific Ocean. This is all so we don't know who we are. The story, and then there's the story of Magellan, Magellon, Ferdinand Magellan, which made the Magellan Strait. Magellan, made the strait. Yep. So his story is the distance between America and India Superior was thousands of miles wider than they first thought. There's probably deception, as this route taken by what's his name?
Ferdinand Magellan,
was already known because it was a much quicker way to get to the East Indies. So others wouldn't use it, and it was a way of them keeping the vast land of India Superior hidden because of all that was here. There was so much gold and silver and pearls and bird life, animal life, fauna, flora that they just made. So the trade money they were making here was just, beyond comprehension. And we're only told a small part of it. So, yeah, there's your little connections with India. And there's probably a whole lot more. So
yes, I'm sure. Yes, I'm sure they'll start popping up.
Yes, and that's another thing. Once you start, that's the key I'm talking about. Once that little veil has been lifted and you know that there's a key there that you can start, researching, the world opens up again for you. So it's finding those little keys. But we will do in India. I need to find out more from Gabriel, but we will do. I've got a lot there already, so we'll do a bit of a series on that one too. There's just spin-offs from this, like left, right, and centre, Campbell. So we've found out about India's superior. What does the narrative tell us?
I don't know.
Now, when you first brought out that newsletter, Campbell, I did a big write-up on Gondwana.
Yeah.
At that stage when I was researching, I found a lot, but I didn't know it'd gone into basic history teaching of children now.
The Gondwana land?
So, you go on to, there's a platform called Kitty's History, which goes right into Gondwana land and Pania.
Pangea.
Pangea. I'm bad, guys. I'm really bad. Dyslexic, it does not serve me. Pangea. So I read it as it looks. So apparently Gondwana land was first. Then Pangea land came and it became a much bigger supercontinent. And then Gondwana land literally, then Gondwana land became the south half of Pangea,
yeah.
And the northern half became Laurasia, Lauracia. Notice there's an Asia in there, so it could be Laurasia. That's the northern part of what became Pangea. Now,
well, just as a side note, Gondwana land, there's clumps of forest in Tasmania and on the mainland that they call Gondwana, and they literally say that it's the only remaining forest plant life that are directly linked back to Gondwana land.
I just find once upon a time when you mention that word, you were told that's the Aboriginal people's name for the original land. Doesn't, that's in their dream time, doesn't really exist. That's how I remember Gondwana land. That's why I wrote about it.
I didn't know. Yeah, right. I did not know that the Originals used it.
Yes, that's what I remember.
Yeah, right. So, I definitely got taught the supercontinent stuff.
Did you?
At school, yeah, about Gondwana land. But then that's all to do with, in their explanation, it's like moving tectonic plates, right?
Yes.
Floating around on an ocean of magma, which I don't believe that story.
No, we'll talk about that one. So anyway, then all of a sudden, Gondwana decides to move. So Gondwana land is actually is nowadays our southern hemisphere, and it includes India Superior, which some parts have sunk, which is now then becomes the Indian subcontinent as we know it now, because apparently India is moving further north, as is Australia.
Apparently that's, they say it crashed into Asia and that's what caused the Himalayas.
Mm.
That's the geology story.
So apparently it also included South America. Funny about that. Africa, Madagascar, the Arabian Peninsula, Australasia, and the Antarctic and Papua, Tasmania, New Zealand, all
Yeah.
the islands. So that's interesting. So, and then, there's some that believe that Gondwana was also part of Africa and America that apparently was one. And we'll
Africa
find
and America
were one island at one stage. That was a thought process as well. So we're going to see a map later on that proves that wrong. So then apparently there's a YouTube channel that does geology on Australia and looks at those plutonic plates and everything. And there was a video apparently, and it showed Tasmania was once joined not only to Australia, but to Western US.
Western USA.
And the Antarctic.
Well,
And the
of course,
part where it was connected was Arizona.
Arizona. Because Arizona's not on the coast. But Arizona's where the Grand Canyon is, I'm pretty sure. So back again to those Indians walking from India to the Grand Canyon. Wonder how was it connected? Was it a portal?
Well, we'll see that at the end of the show. So yes, I found
yeah.
that, and apparently, so it said what I heard was Tassie was once joined to the Western US, Arizona, and the Antarctica, which we know because it was part of the mainland, broke free and eventually slammed into, Tasmania eventually slammed into Victoria.
Oh.
So Tasmania was first connected to the US.
Oh, so
this is when this is why it's so hard to get your head around our maps, because that's how programmed we are. So Gondwana land, if you see it as this landmass that is slowly separated from Pangaea, it's now parts of it have gone over to what we know as America.
Yeah,
South
okay,
America.
gotcha. Yeah,
so that part of land that was connected to America, that was Arizona, has broken off and eventually has slammed and become part of Victoria before it broke off again.
Yeah, right. Interesting. All right. Well, you're gonna have to tell me your theory. How did that work if it's not on tectonic plates?
Yes. So then Laurasia or Laurasia was the northern hemisphere, and that broke off to become Laurenta, Lawrenta, and Eurasia, Europe. So so this describes in the old maps Europe and Asia was also connected at one stage to the northern part of Laurasia and Pangaea.
So, I mean, and this, the mainstream would probably agree with this, right? Apart from when we start talking about time frames, they would say it happens over millions and billions of years and all this kind of stuff.
Of course it does. Of course it does. There's even, if you go on to, which is the next part we'll talk about, is what is it?
Sahul.
So Zahul, which Gabrielle thinks that's a load of nonsense, but Sahul is the part that broke off again from Gondwana. That's South Hemisphere, huge landmass. Where was I going with this? So it's so hard to get your head around, but that's right. If you look at this, if you put that Sahul into YouTube, you'll get quite a few YouTube shows on it. And the one that I did watch was a scientific one that shows on a computer the amount of changes that apparently this planet Earth has had over millions and millions. Like the land masses are constantly changing and moving around. And, you know, this is only one part of that change around. We'll soon be having another part. You know, the volcanoes will erupt and we'll have earthquakes and we'll have, you know, flooding and da-da-da, so that, you know, the Earth can move again and go into a different position maybe 100 years from now. Who knows? But that's their story. They can put that, you know, on this video, they've got a whole computer analysis of billions and millions and hundreds of thousands of years ago. They know exactly what the land masses were. Mm. Gee whiz. I didn't think computers were that clever. So Zahul, which is a paleocontinent made up of the present-day Australia, Tasmania, New Guinea, Papua, and had land bridges, and New Zealand. Sahul existed from the onset of the Ice Age, which lowered sea levels 18,000 years ago at 131 metres. Now, if you go on this site that I was watching with the scientists, they will tell you that it happened 50 million years ago. So there's lots of different times. The Ice Age happened with melting ice rising the sea levels, claiming 30% of a much bigger landmass, making it 100, I'll say the numbers, 11-06200 square kilometres in size.
Right. So
that was Sahul's size.
So that they're saying it's tectonic plates on one hand, but then they've just said it's because of the water rising or retrieving, it's receding.
Don't be smart. You're not allowed to be autodidactic, Campbell. Don't do that.
They always kind of drop it, don't they? They always do kind of tell us if you look into it.
You've got to read between the lines, Campbell.
Yeah.
Definitely. So, yeah, making it, is that 11,600,200 square kilometres in size.
11.6 million, 200,000 square miles. It's a lot.
Yeah. That incorporated, like I said, you know, Australia, Papua, Tasmania, New Zealand, Fiji, and probably many other places.
Probably, yeah, Southeast Asia.
Yes, and the Americas. But then the Australian plate, you know, that's what the gatekeepers want to use. So we'll look at that picture, Campbell.
The video, do we want to do the video first?
Yeah, we'll do a little video on this place.
We'll get the pictures, all right.
Yeah.
All right. Can you see that? Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, hang on. Do we need the sound?
Yeah.
Okay, one sec. Sorry about that. Sound.
I can only, oh, hang on. Look at that. 5,000.
Sahul, Australia, a lost world of underwater history and megafauna, and a perfect opportunity for me to make this video. Long before Australia became the world's largest quarantine zone for venom and regret, it was part of something bigger, something bolder, something geologically clingy, something even more venomous. Meet Sahul, the prehistoric landmass that fused Australia, New Guinea and Tasmania into one glorious slab of walkable real estate. No boats, no borders, just cool vibes and giant murder wombats, because it turns out that beneath the waves off the northern coast of Kimberley, present-day Australia, there's more than just confused fish and discarded snorkels, because very, very recently a bunch of divers armed with oxygen tanks and an overdeveloped sense of academic optimism have stumbled upon the remains of a long-forgotten human settlement. Yes, apparently Australia used to be walkable, habitable, and brace yourself, connected to other places. This underwater ghost town, buried under thousands of years of sediment and scientific neglect, was once a bustling hub of prehistoric life. Tens of thousands of years ago, before sea levels decided to ruin everything, humans actually lived here. They built, they thrived, and they probably complained about the weather, just like we do now.
All right, and don't lose your stuff over the fact they showed a globe, guys.
Oh, that's it. Well, I didn't want to continue anymore because it got very, very agenderized. But the start of it gives you a little bit of idea of what we may be talking about. But the names, see, that the names are just set up to, where did that name come from?
Sahul, yeah. Sahul,
You know,
yeah.
This is another thing, Campbell. Everything that we look at on these maps and what we do, they're all being changed and taken away from the native names of the original places. So it's so hard. But yeah, that's a little bit about Zahul, which is meant to be, 11,006,200 kilometres. And here are some photos of the plate. This is Sahul, how they imagine it to look like. Connected to...
These are like mountain. I mean, we've still got mountains here, but mountains up there.
That's all Papua.
And here in the middle too, Alice Springs.
Yes.
Mountains. So that's interesting. And this is
the plate. This is the Australian plate they talk about.
So we're sitting on this thing. That looks like the United States, that shape, doesn't it?
It sure does.
Looks a lot like it.
You know, we've got a huge landmass here. This just gives people an idea of what I'm researching with Gabrielle.
Well,
because
I mean, this looks similar to what you see on the Monty map too, right?
Yes.
Like the shape of the landmass that became Australia, yeah.
I personally think that Monty map is probably the closest, along with maybe one or two other maps that I've looked at, of what may truly have been here.
Yeah.
I found a fantastic video on the Monty map, which we'll look at as well. When we do we'll do the Monty map one. It's that many I have to do, Campbell.
I know.
So yeah, so that's gives you a little bit of an idea of what, you know, Gabrielle's trying to explain to me in regards to the size of this area, because another one we're going to look into next will be, or whatever, will be, you know, Marco Polo's adventures here, because, you know, of La Grande Java. So I'm trying to get everyone's a picture of what we're dealing with. We're not dealing with an Australian-looking map with a little bit with Papua, which isn't small at the top, and a broken Tasmania down the bottom, and New Zealand's broken over there. And we did have another island. I was trying to find that map, but I will find it, which is just at the base of the bight.
Oh,
right,
okay.
sort of next to Tasmania, but over a little bit, there's another huge landmass there.
Yeah, yeah, I've seen that map. I can't remember what it's called, but I've seen that.
So we're talking about a very, very big area, and so, you know, I've got to get my head out of that programming that we've been taught for so long about what Australia looks like: separate Tasmania, separate Papua, separate New Zealand, Tonga, you know, New Caledonia. It was all part. Fiji, we went as far as Fiji. So I'm trying to set a basis for it all here. So if we can look at two little pics, a little bit of the landmass before sinking that I found. I don't know how real it is, but it's interesting.
All right, I'm showing Spanish.
Landmass before sinking, I think I called it. I can't remember.
Landmass before sinking, okay. Where is it? Map and orders, early maps. Oh, that's right, yeah, so land masses.
Yeah.
Yes.
So this is a little picture that I found, and I thought, well, that sort of gives you a little bit of an idea if you just put Papua in there and New Zealand, as some of our Australian maps show, and then you'll get a little bit of an idea of what we're looking at. And I'd say Australia went down even more, because there was an island where that bight is. There was an island there as well, like I said.
I mean, look where Tasmania is, that massive bit at the bottom. That's big.
Yes.
So in Kumari, Kandam, Kumari, Sumatra, it's kind of similar. Oh, and that was joined to Madagascar over here.
Yep. Madagascar's another one.
And up to,
you know, and Gabriel talks about the Solomon Islands, which is another big story, because the Solomon Islands was renamed quite a few times. It sunk, came back, sunk again. And, you know, the true King Solomon lived there.
I was going to say, yeah, interesting name, right? King Solomon Islands.
Yeah, well, the original King Solomon was there, I believe. I'm starting to believe that, you know, we know about that book that everyone reads, and the people were, I think, based on some of King Solomon from that story, from the true King Solomon on the Solomon Islands. That's what I mean. There's so many rabbit holes. So, yeah, so look at India. So if India, which I've got maps on we'll look at, was much larger, it was connected to all that area. So that's why people could travel. They had land bridges, like they say, and they had just short areas to travel in these massive canoes that they had, and ships.
Yeah, and I mean, this is now the Indian Ocean, right?
That's exactly right.
That's interesting.
How convenient.
Yeah, because India's underneath it, right?
So
right.
Lots of food for thought. So the next one, the picture of a Science of Man, I just thought that was very interesting to read. And then we'll go into Gabrielle's pictures.
Where is it? I think that's it. Is that it? Extract from Science of Man.
Yeah, can you give that a read?
So the antiquarian objects and problems in Australia. Many
1900s.
1900. Many persons think there is nothing to be discovered in Australia except what belonged to the black tribes now or lately found there. But to the more experienced, there are many evidences that other peoples, quite different from the blacks, have been in Australia, they having left undisputable proofs of their presence and residence there. Well, that's interesting. 1900.
Boom, boom.
Boom, boom.
And that's from the Science of Man, January the 22nd, 1900. So,
yeah, there you go. Well, and it's true. Right? There's so many unexplained things in Australia with the current narrative, mainly all the buildings and stuff, right? But so much other stuff.
Oh.
Gosford glyphs, you know, they've found Chinese coins, they've found Spanish stuff, like
everywhere. You know, I was even watching when something on about Tasmania. There's an area there where all the water flowed up and through the mountains and came back down, and it is a source of the sediment is the hugest source of old bones.
Oh.
And fauna.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, they called it Tasmania's natural filtration system.
Wow. Okay, I haven't heard of that one.
Yes. There's a few things in Tassie we haven't heard of. You and I spoke about, which we'll talk about in the Marco Polo.
There's a lot going on down there. Yes.
So that little excerpt from the 1900s will now lead me into before I say that, it'll be that we'll go into the The
Found
found map.
maps.
Yes, we'll go into that in a minute. But this is from Gabriel. The land size of what he calls Ophrah. From far northeast, you have King Fiji. Far southeast, now illegally labelled New Zealand, the country then extended west through the furthest south known, illegally named Tasmania. Across the Bight and further west, then there were now the Bai, Blai, Mon and the Ga Magi nations. An old matriarch that he spoke to in his travels of finding oral truth told him that there was over 100 kilometres of coast that sunk on the west side of Australia.
Interesting. Well, we have this Rottnest Island. There's a few islands off the coast of WA.
Yes. So Gav not only does his own research and speaks to other tribes everywhere, he's also travelled immensely to try and find oral knowledge and stories. And he comes from a very interesting, like I've said, bloodline. So we'll go into Gav's story later as well. So it's a big series. So there is a map that I have here that we won't go into, but we will go into another time. But it's called the Atlantis Insulam French map of 1650. And the actual map drawer and the explorer actually died. So his sons took over the drawing of this map and it was released in 1690. It placed Atlantis of old in the Americas and described Nova Guinea in a very intriguing way and connects us as a known place 500 years before the Messiah. And it is said, this is what's written on the map, and it is said that the people lived a superior existence. That was translated off this map. That's another thing, Campbell, that I'm doing at the moment. It's so easy. I've found it so easy now. I can just put a picture of the map, the wording, and ask them to translate it in English. And gee whiz, the information on these maps. Hence what I just read.
Yeah, that's another good use for AI, right? It is definitely handy in some places. I've done that as well. You just screenshot it and say, translate this.
Yep. And then you'll get a book. If there's a page out of a book, it'll give you the book. I've read other manuscripts because of that. But I found that so interesting that in 1650, they wrote on that map that the Atlantis of old was in America and describes, and the map, the text says it describes Nova Guinea in a very intriguing way and connects us connects Guinea or Papua, they don't like New Guinea, Papua, as a known place 500 years before Messiah.
Wow.
And that the people lived superior existences.
Do I have that map or?
We have got that map. I didn't send it. Do you want me to send it to you?
Oh.
It's just got so many maps to look at.
Yeah, no, that's right. We'll show it next time.
I'll send it to you.
Cool.
So, changing the Latin, French, Old Italian now into English opens up. This is what I'm saying. You need the key, and we're getting the key more and more. We just need to know where to look and how to get it.
Yeah.
So,
Tower of Babel, right? Confound our language, change it all, mix it up, invert it, and we don't know what we're talking about. We're just babbling.
Yep, babbling and spelling. So we will go to, the found map. Now, this came up on a Facebook page, and the person that put it up asked if anyone knew anything about it because she found it in her grandmother's belongings.
What's that? Manila, 1676.
76.
A676.
Now, Manila, when I do about the slave trade, we'll talk about the Manila ships.
Yep. Yep.
And the chinos.
The big story there in the Philippines. Yep.
Oh, yeah.
So Manila is also in, that's Micronesia, isn't it? Is that Manila?
Yep.
Yeah.
Around that area, but it has
Definitely,
moved from the map. So, yes.
So it's one of the old parts of India, basically.
Yep.
All right, well, here it is. Terra Australis incognito, right, which means to be disguised. Incognito. Doesn't mean hidden, it means deliberately hidden, right? Disguised.
Well, also it was named that way so that they could get away with their colonial lawism and Christianism in regards to taking lands.
Yeah, saying it was
it was unknown. Savages lived there.
Yeah,
it wasn't of any importance. So, and it was also designed because when Marco Polo, on any of them, it's not just Marco Polo, you've got Mandeville, who I've been reading his book, describes similar things to Marco Polo. But when they write, they call anyone that's not a Christian of any religion that they are aware of, they call them the idolisers. And the reason is that the idolisers is like a code. They're not Christians. So that gave them the reason with new laws to take that land. It's very, very nefarious, Campbell.
Yeah. Well, the laws definitely help them. Yeah, steal a lot, right? They just redesignate stuff. Like you said, they change all the names of countries, towns, cities.
That's it. Yep, to suit themselves. And this is all done in the past, so for future reference, it can all happen, which that's what I'm going to talk about at the event. But we just read in a 1650 map or 1690 released map that, Papua was connected and was a known place 500 years before the Messiah.
Yeah. So on their timeline, that's unknown, 2,500 years.
Yeah.
And all the maps that, even though they show Australia, but they tell us it wasn't really seen or discovered till the 1600s with the Dutch, right?
That's it. But the beauty now is that we can look at the old Chinese maps. We can look at the old Arab maps too, because they all did maps. So they're ones we need to look at. So if you go to the next page that shows you the writing, what was written there, Campbell, it'll explain a little bit of what we're talking about.
1676. Oh, just something 300 years ago in Rome. Something cardinals discussed a proposal that newly discovered lands, then known as Terra Australis, should officially become a mission of the Roman Catholic Church. The cardinals were members of the Sacred Congregation for the Evangelization of Nations for Peoples, and the proposal came from an Italian priest, Father Vittorio Riccio, based in Manila. Interesting, the Philippines. He was a member of the Dominican religious community, Dominican, in 1676. That's interesting. It's like Dominican Republic, right? So that the cardinals would have a clear idea of what he meant by Terra Australis. He had sent them a hand-drawn map in colour measure, 30 by 40 centimetres, and with comments written in Latin. So I'm guessing that's
the map we just saw.
Yeah.
Yep.
The explanation notations make the map interesting and unusual. At the top of the words, Terra Australis, fifth part of the world. Terra Australis has been used by geographers and explorers to refer to an unknown continent in the southern hemisphere, even though they were drawing it in maps, right? Unknown.
Yes.
The, the second line states to the sacred congregation of proposal of propagandified. To the sacred congregation to propagandified, I don't know. Across the central portion of the map itself, in other words, Terra Australis, once unknown, now partly known. The map is signed by Father Riccio on the lower right-hand corner and is dated Manila, 1676, 94 years before Captain James Cook explored Australia's east coast. Several places are named around the edge of Terra Australis map, among them other Gilio, now called Halmekara,
Yep.
Papua New Guinea, Solomon Islands, Cape Lant, Cape Concordia, Pygmies, Serum, that's okay. The South Pole is shown at the point where the two halves of the map meet. 3 latitudes are also indicated by the name Antarctic Circle and Tropic of Capricorn and the equator. In addition, Riccio's map contains 2 other interesting notations. The first one, divided into 2 sections across the entire map, reads, "This chart has been made on a very small scale, and as a result, innumerable islands are altogether lacking." So innumerable islands have not been drawn in on that map.
Yep.
Since our only purpose was to show where Terra Australis is and how vast it is. The second legend on the lower left-hand side reads, "From these islands, it is not difficult to enter Terra Australis." The islands which are marked on the map and are referred to by this legend are the Philippine Islands, Mindanao, Sumatra, Java, Flores, Timor, Borneo, Celebes, is that Celebes?
Yeah, something, yes.
Saram, and Gilolo, yeah. The outcome of the map, proposal on the map, was that the Roman Catholic Church was prompted into creating the Prefecture Apostolic of Terra Australis, 15th June 1681. This included the lands known today as Australia, Antarctica, Papua New Guinea, Solomon Islands, and West Irian Jaya.
Yep.
In Indonesia. Irian, sorry, not Iran, Irian. All right, so that's interesting, right?
Pretty interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, so this is all the writing he's talking about. So this is basically, they've claimed it almost 100 years before Cook turned up in Botany Bay.
Yep.
So it was already,
it's all set in stone.
Yeah, legally done, right? And he just turns up and interesting.
Yep. Well, he was an agent for the VOC, so there's a whole thing about that too.
So I'm guessing this is Manila. This is the islands that you can get into it. But yeah, innumerable islands left out. So this whole place would have been full of islands.
Well, I've read that there was 12,900 islands at one stage.
12,000, wow.
Yeah. So we're going to look at, well, when you remember all that, we will be, after we look at Gabriel's photos that he sends me, just so I get an idea of what he's talking about, we will look at something I also found in regards to the Spanish landing in the top of Australia after this.
All right.
So this is what Gabriel's trying to show me, and on his Facebook page, is that's only a small amount. So when you look at Google Maps, you can actually see where the land used to be.
Yeah.
There was never a continent, like they talk about Zeander.
Yeah, which is supposed to be this. Yeah.
Huge continent. No, it was connected. There was no huge continent on its own.
Yeah.
It was all one landmass. And this is what Gabriel tries to show me, is that big map down the bottom is what they originally called the whole area Nova Guinness. And Nova Guinness really means new black. They
Oh.
called the whole area the New Slave Farm.
Mm. And there's a country in Africa as well called Guinea, right?
Yes,
And
like
because
Nova Guinea.
New Guinea,
Yep,
it makes us think that New Guinea's the newer one, right?
yep.
Named after Guinea, where it's probably just misdirection.
It's a code for black.
Mm.
Black people when they want to. So it was much, much earlier than what we've been told. And because when you look into the whole system, you realise that there was a whole agenda behind mixing all these people, and they renamed them. Not just the land they renamed the people too.
Yes. Yeah.
So he's taken one of the maps, an older map, to show you where actually New Zealand ended from the large continent.
So terra incognito. Oh. So
Where
he's saying what it
tip.
came out to here. Is that what he's saying?
Yep.
I mean, you can see it under there, right?
Absolutely, you can.
Does that. And then, so, okay, so this must be a bit of an older map, and this would have been when New Zealand was attached still to
to the whole land
mass. Yeah.
And not that long ago either, because as you can see, a lot of the maps sort of 1500s, mid-1500s, some of them were tampered with, and some of them gave you a pretty good idea. But
I mean, it's a lot of change, right, in 500 years, because if we go by the dates on the maps, that's what we're looking at, 500 years.
Yep.
From a massive continent to, breaking up to Australia, New Zealand, Papua, Tasmania, all the islands, Southeast Asia. So it's a lot of change very quickly. So this is Gozgoz.
Yep.
1547, Vallard map of the east coast of Ugar or Australia. 1547. Further enlarged, showing people more clearly. Who do you reckon they'll be back then at stack 360? I don't know what that means. All right, so clearly depicted as white. Riding a horse, by the way. We're told horses weren't here. And they were like a Chinese kind of umbrella.
Yes, the umbrellas, yes.
The parasols. And what's he holding? Is he playing, is that an instrument or a stick? Looks like it's got a guitar head on it, but I don't know.
It does, doesn't it? Well, it could be a staff.
So 1547. So this is the thing, and this is, what I've been wondering lately, and what we all have, right? Who in Australia, like, were the cities inhabited, the old world buildings, and if so, who by? And who were the bushrangers really? Who were the convicts really?
Yes, well, I have a new theory about all of that.
All right. Did you see my video where my theory is that convicts are basically just POWs from the invasion? They were already here.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Which the Spanish landing will describe beautifully to us. Now, what's that one? Oh, forget about that. Go past it.
Okay.
I did get rid of that.
That's about the maps.
Yeah, there should be a map connected to that. There it is. So this is an early map, and where you see Nova Guinea and then Australia. If you go back again and it says Nova Guinea, it will tell you what that actually says.
All right. And this is, that's interesting, ADJ5J9. I've never seen that before.
Oh, yeah.
So J is obviously 1, because here we've got 2J October, like 21st of October.
Yep.
I'm thinking 1519. All right. So if we go back.
Keep going.
This is bottom section, top section. So this is what's written over New Guinea is,
Is that the Latin? There
That
is an
must be
English.
Latin.
Go
Hang
back.
on.
Go back.
Is that it?
No, keep
No.
going. No, go forward again. Sorry. Keep going.
That bottom section, the southern continent.
Oh, don't worry about it. I obviously didn't send it.
So the
Oh,
bottom
hang on.
section says, this southern continent, some call the Magellanic region, after Magellan, no doubt.
Yes.
After its discovery, yeah. For Ferdinand Magellan arrived at the strait named after himself on October the 21st of the year 1520 and was the first to enter it. Okay, so this is saying Magellan walked on what essentially became Australia.
Yeah. Yep.
From there, he sought the Moluccas, but was killed in the Barabas Islands or the Philippines. The remainder of the fleet, having circumnavigated the globe, or, the realm, returned to Spain after almost exactly 3 years. Okay, so
there's your privateers again for Spain.
So, yeah. Well, there you go. I mean, that's right there, right? That's written. That's written on that map on there.
Yep.
That's what that says. That bottom bit.
Yep.
Is wow.
I mean, I think from memory, the top of Papua New Guinea explains the land and how big it is and everything. I thought I had it in there. Sorry, Campbell.
No, that's right. Hanging continent. That's that one.
See, the one I have got must be the Latin version, the little small writing.
Yeah, this one. Yeah,
it's all Latin.
New Guinea, the land of Picaniacoli.
Yeah, Piccolo Collier or something it was originally called. Mm-hmm. And would you believe
Island. So that's about it.
In the original map that they all copied in 150 AD called that island the island of pygmies.
That's
Patagoni? Is it Patagoni?
Patagonia.
No.
Because that's the land of giants.
No. The map maker of 150 AD, the Greek. Yeah. Ptomey.
Ptolemy.
Yes.
Ptolemy. Yeah.
He mentions Papua and calls it the land of the pygmies at that time. Yes.
Okay, because in the Mercator maps of Hyperborea in the north, there's always an island that is called
the Pygmy Island.
There's pygmies on there. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Interesting. All right.
Now that's another one that I have to get that translated.
Interesting.
But again,
this is New Guinea, Papua. So this is Australia, right? New Holland, and what do we have there but an elephant?
Exactly.
Right, and this is there a date on this? 1527. So elephants, well before they should be here, and up here we got deer.
Yep.
And see, this is a thing, we've questioned a lot. How did animals like elephants, camels, horses get here so early, right? Standing still on a ship for 6 months as it crosses the ocean. I don't think that's practical.
They're already here.
But they need to get rid of them for their evolution story, right? To say that all that was here in Australia were the marsupials.
Exactly. And the
mammals. Fits into their little evolution.
Absolutely.
Story. That's interesting. There you go. Even that looks like, I don't know, some kind of big cat or something, maybe.
Yeah. That's another rabbit hole I went down about all the animals. The animals tell you what's going on too.
Yeah, well, of course, in Tassie, there's the thylacine, right?
Yes.
And that was just in Tasmanian tiger, but they've found skeletons of thylacines on the mainland. And I
Well,
think
they weren't.
they might have even
Yeah.
found in Papua.
There is. They were seen everywhere on the
Mm.
mainland. They were also seen in Papua. Gav reckons there's still some in Papua New Guinea, which proves that it was all connected. The only reason why they only lasted in Tasmania is when that part broke away.
Mm.
They were stuck on Tasmania.
Yeah.
But I got stuff, Gabriel sent me something about also that same marsupial lived in America, and they made sure they got rid of them very quickly.
Yep. Didn't suit the story.
Nope.
Now
Now that's a very early map.
Poseidon.
Yeah.
So this is Mediterranean. So yeah, Africa, Europe, Russia, China, Middle East.
But doesn't that look like an ovary? That's what it reminds me of.
Like an ovary.
And an egg.
Yeah.
That's what that map always reminds me of.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's almost a Vesica Pisces shape too, right?
Isn't it?
Poseidon, well, there you go. Haven't got a date on that. X111, don't know.
So that's 11, that's 12th century.
Oh, 12th century.
Yep.
Interesting.
X is 10, 1, 1. Yeah, it's 12. Here we go, trying to show me another. So wherever those little ticks are is where that landmass used to be on that map.
Okay, so Australia
Not that
came
long
out
ago.
basically up here, right?
Yep.
And then that's Papua down there, isn't it? That bit.
Yep.
So that basically went up a lot higher because there's the top of it. It's a Java minor. That's interesting, right? That's written on the landmass that became Australia, Java minor.
Yep, we had Java Minor, La Grand Java.
Isla of Sumatra, Sumatran. Oh, Timor's still in there. That's an old map, and it's still called Timor. That's interesting.
Well, we really don't know the dates for some of these maps because that literally falls in the guidelines of what Marco Polo was explaining, and that was in the 13th century as well. So,
all right. He's saying if he thinks this is the west coast
of the original landmass. So we're looking at New Zealand again.
So this basically here would be New Zealand.
Yeah, if you look at the peak of that white stuff, go down.
Yeah.
You can see where it peaks. No, on the bottom one. See where it peaks?
Up here.
No, down the bottom.
Down here, yeah.
Yep. So that's what that's what that map's showing you.
Oh, that bit there is that.
Yes.
Gotcha. So this massive. So you can see New Zealand, right, would have been
across.
You know, what, 7, 8 times as big just with this landmass here, like a lot bigger. Okay, so yeah, right. Interesting. And these, you know, that looks like a dude with a crown on. These look like what we would call kind of medieval European types, right?
Yep.
Again, not the people that we're told were the only ones here. Yeah. Does that say Australia? I can't really read it. All right, so that's an old map, obviously.
And this is
another one. Okay.
Explaining the landmass from an older map where everything was.
So New Zealand was one landmass. New Zealand here. Tassie. I'm not sure where he's put that. Is it
down
here?
The bottom.
Maybe. Yeah.
Down the bottom. Yep.
Yeah, Tassie. Yeah, is he referring to that? Oh, is that a landmass there? Okay.
Another landmass.
That's a bit of land.
Exactly.
Okay. Yep. Gotcha. NC. What's NC?
New Caledonia.
Yeah. up
New
there.
Caledonia,
And
Fiji.
NI.
I can't remember what NI is.
NI knew something.
And then you've got Solomon Island.
So Australia would basically be, kind of here somewhere, right?
Yes.
This bottom bit.
Towards the other side of that. Yep.
Yeah, with Tassie there. Yeah, okay. I wonder what map that is. I'm going to have to look for that one. Okay,
And this
so here's some. Yeah, we've a lot of us have seen these maps showing it connected, and of course they love to say when we see these, they're like, oh, they just didn't sail through Bass Strait, so they thought it was connected. But when you zoom in, there's names.
Exactly.
Right? Like right there, that basically would be in the ocean, and this one too. You can see there's names here.
Yep.
Of towns or something, rivers, ports. And yeah, that's in where the water would be. So how does that work?
And then even when you look at the last one, you see where the land has been. And they're even talking about that. There was many land bridges to the mainland now, they're saying.
And this one again, New Holland. I mean, yes, maps are good, but like I say, we have no way of dating them, right? All we can look at is the date that someone's put on it. But,
exactly.
that could be retrospective, right?
Can you go to the next one? Because that'll explain that more.
When New Zealand and Tassie was still New Guinea. So Tassie joined New Zealand. And where's New Guinea? Up here somewhere, I'm guessing. Oh, there.
They called the whole area New Guinea at one stage.
Yeah. It's a lot of old maps. You get it like this massive island on the top of Australia.
Yep.
Or what's going to become Australia. It's always New Guinea.
Yep. So if you go over a bit more, hopefully the other map I'm needing for the one you just load the other way. Yep. Okay. Zoom in on that, because the bottom part of that map is supposed to be the original map, which Goz took a little screenshot of the people of Australia, the very first map of Australia, which has always fascinated me, because that mountain in the background, I always thought, is that part of an older temple or whatever?
Yeah, that looks like a doorway, and that looks like, the tower, right?
Yep.
Here we have the umbrella again.
Yeah, that's where Goz took the screenshot, was from that map.
Oh, from that, okay.
1547.
And definitely not, not drawn as dark-skinned people.
No. And then you go up, and that's where that rock area is now under the water. It was called Bell's Pyramid.
So that's New Zealand, okay, Tasmania, east coast of Australia, and out here. Is it on an island?
No, it's under the water.
It's underwater now.
Yep. So if you go back where we came from, that one, that's where it is now.
So that's Ball's Pyramid, and that's it there.
Yep. The divers swim it. Yep.
He's going inside it. Wow. That's interesting. So, yep, this is now underwater.
The part that's underwater is that archway. The part still sticking up is the one on the right. That's what's left of it.
So this bit comes out of the water.
Yeah. So see how you got that top bit in the map, the drawing?
Yep.
That matches that part, and the rest of it's underwater.
That's that. And then this archway here is this.
Yep. And that's called Bell's Pyramid.
All right.
So we're seeing that one.
So here's another one. Yeah, just showing how everything's connected underwater. New Guinea. Map 1566. Oh, wow.
Yeah, this is the Dapi map. So if you have a look at this, you get another idea of the land mass.
Wow. Look at that. So basically, this is all like Indonesia, Java, all those sort of islands. And it's all definitely connected in one big landmass
Yep.
down to Australia. And what is that?
I
It's
don't
like an
know.
old world roller coaster or something. But that's interesting. What's it called? Let's find some
And this
better.
came from a lady that I follow on Facebook, and I'm sorry, I can't remember your name. I was there, but she does a lot of good stuff on old Australia as well.
Well, there you go. I mean, and when you look at the rest of the world, right, it's all drawn, you know, pretty
Close.
well as yeah, exactly. It's all matches what we're showing today
Yep.
as the land masses. And look at this massive one down here, which is Australia.
Mm-hmm. Now, I read a manuscript the other day that literally describes, you know, how I said that I screenshot it and I want it in English. It
Yeah,
was out of an old text, and it was actually saying that Europe and Asia were connected.
Europe and Asia.
Mm-hmm. The coast of parts of the coast of Asia and Europe were connected.
What is going on there? So this we've got like a defined continent there, but this one, oh, that's the top of Africa. Is this supposed to be connected into this one big landmass?
I think she's just trying to show you how it all works.
How
I
it
think
could
she's,
have been done, yeah, right.
yeah. And that's
Oh,
from that
okay.
map.
All right, so that's the, but yeah, I mean, you can see the massive landmass here, right? Which we're told doesn't exist anymore. Well, became Australia as we're
Yeah.
discovering.
Now, if you you got to go right forward now, because this is actually the Ottoman map. That's the map there.
This
That's
is
always
Reese,
fascinated me.
right? Yeah, Piri
Yep.
Reese. Yeah.
So, no, the Ottoman. It's not
Not Piri
one you
Reese.
just, no, this isn't actually written by the Ottoman
Ottoman
Empire.
Turkish translation. Um, so that's all the translations. So do
No,
we want
go
to go
back. Yep. There should be a start there. I can't see it.
to
That's it, I think. I think that's the start.
so Ottoman translation? Do not think that understanding each of these stars is merely a matter for hearsay,
No, that's not the
for
right
the
one.
navigators consistently utilize them. Number two, each of these have been verified through precise measurement and experience, and thus recorded in this exact manner. One can now depart from the Western Ocean and the Atlantic and sail all the way to China. Because seekers of knowledge are numerous today, they search tirelessly. Whoever gazes upon this map will see its immense value overflow. So that is translating these. What's written around here, is it?
Well, that whole bottom section is Antarctica, and that's literally what we've been told is Gondwana land. That's Australia in the middle, that high peak area.
Yeah, yeah. Australia's here, so I'm
That whole
guessing that's
area.
probably Papua.
No,
So
it's all part of the one land at that stage.
Papua's here.
Yep, the whole lot. That's the
that
whole big area that we've been
India?
talking about.
Yeah. Just trying to look at, so Australia's basically in here somewhere.
Well, someone
We've got these
pointed out on the right of there was Sydney, Botany Bay. They've worked out Botany Bay and Sydney area, right to that right area. The peaking area was that area. So, no, that's your Northern Territory. You come down Queensland, and yep, right around where you are somewhere was Sydney.
So that sort of became the East Coast.
Yep.
Down there somewhere. All right. Send that one. Every helmsman and sea captain now travels continuously with these vessel labels interspersed across the world map. I mean, so it's basically all just saying that it is a proper map, right? That's
Yep.
what most of this is saying. It's been done properly. And
Yep.
I like how it says one can now depart from the Western Ocean and sail all the way to China. Does that mean that you couldn't do that in the past? Was that because there was no ocean, because it was land?
Yeah, maybe. And that's the Ortilis map, 1589.
Ortilis, so this is, yeah, South America, which now has a completely different shape.
Yep,
All
and it's
this bit's
touching.
gone. Yeah, so Tierra del Fuego, the land of fire. And this is the Straits of Magellan through here.
Yep.
This little passageway. Terra Australis. And we got New Guinea. Yep, there's New Guinea. Right, always there. Oh, okay. And Solomons.
Yep.
The islands of the Solomons.
Connected.
Mm.
That they then turned into New Ireland and New Britain once it broke away. That's why the Solomon Islands has changed its area so many times.
Yeah, right. New Ireland and New Britain. And then that's Japan. The island of Plata.
Yep.
Oh, there you go. It even says it's Japan. But look
There
at
you
that.
go.
Look at that. Japan is now just like a little string up on this side, right? A little, what is it, 4 or 5 islands or something? Well,
Yep.
it's hundreds, but main islands. So all of this bit's gone. And so
Yep.
is this whole bit here, basically, unless maybe a little bit of the bottom of it.
And they knew that where that was way before that map.
So I'm not sure what the date is.
That one is 1589.
1589. Oh, yeah, I've got it up there.
So can you go to the Spanish landing, the top of Australia, Campbell?
Oh, that's the wrong one. Spanish, Australia, America, portals, the Spanish. Oh, okay. Right, so I'm guessing this is just the address, gutenberg.net.
Yeah, if anyone wants to go on there, very interesting site.
There you go. Screenshot that, guys. Go check it out. And this is what you find. The Pierre de Celliers map of Australia. So, okay, this is Australia.
Yep.
Okay. Oh, look at India.
It
Looks a bit different. Look at the water goes right up there too.
Yeah, I've got maps with even more parts hanging off that has gone into the ocean.
So 1500s, that's basically
Yep.
a huge Australia, right? New Zealand, everything's all in this one landmass.
Yep.
The Sea of Sir, don't know. And that's Africa. Oh, okay, look at that. South America and Brazil is like detached, and there's a massive inlet into the Amazon jungle. That's interesting. I haven't seen that before. And are these are flags? I'm guessing they're depicting
when the Spanish were
when they were claiming
their flag on.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
So there you go. They've been on and claimed 3 spaces.
Yep.
Back in the 1500s.
Now this is just a hand-drawn. This is a hand-drawn map that these Spanish fleets drew up themselves. It's not to size or anything. It's just how they imagined the area to be like.
Yep. So this is Australia.
Yep.
I mean, what's this? This is south of Australia. Isn't that supposed to be Antarctica?
I don't know what that is.
That might be New Zealand there, Cardona.
It's just islands they found on the way.
Yeah. And look at this. Portals of Belen.
We'll end with some of those portholes.
Yeah.
So
Okay, this is it. First Discovery of Australia and New Guinea. That's the book you're looking for by George
yeah.
Collingridge.
So this website talks about a journey. There's a map of the top of Australia. Talks about a journey in Australia to that area. They got there in May of 1609. And
Wow.
descriptions of all the islands they came across. Now,
Is that what this is?
yeah, I'll wait before you read that. I'll just explain something. So they came across many islands. There was one island that had many ports for ships that had stones and corals that were arranged on entrance by humans in these ports. He also says there were islands. Remember we talked about earlier the South Pacific Ocean being, what's it called again? Federation of, oh my golly gosh, hang on, I will find it. Federation of, just let me have a look. Oh, the Micronesia. Remember we talked about Micronesia and you had the stones and everything in the middle of the ocean, like.
Yeah, Madol, yeah.
Yep. This describes many, many places like that they came across trying to get to Australia, and they could not bring, it was so fortified they couldn't bring their boats in to have a look.
Yeah, right.
There's even a picture in this writing of it. So I found that really interesting. And then there's an island that they came across that they called the Magnificent Women Island. It was actually called, I'll spell it, Isla, which is island, de la Gente Hermosa was the name of the island. And then there was an island called Takapia, and Takapia is still there. It's still got the original native, that's the original native name for that island. And when they arrived there, the natives were saying to them, because they said they were heading to Australia, they already knew Australia was there. The natives in sign language, as best as they could, told him, the captain, that the further southwards they go towards Australia, be prepared because he will meet with extensive countries where inhabitants were much fairer than those he had seen.
Oh, interesting.
So Tokopia afforded them no shelter from the wind, so they did not remain for very long. Yet along the coastline, they noticed many fruit trees, of which were also several plantations of bananas, coconuts, palms, sugarcane, and many, many nutritional roots.
Interesting.
So Tokopia,
cultivation.
Yes, so Tokopia exists today and it still has its native name. So then they talk about coming on to Australia, and they landed on the top of Australia in May 1609. So I think that part that is there, because I can't remember what I sent you, may describe what that was.
Is that this bit here?
Yeah, I think
this is
so.
Yeah, they landed near the launch with 4 small pieces of artillery to be used in a fort in case of necessity. What fort? Within, the monks arranged a clean and well-ordered altar under a canopy. This was the first church and named by the captain Our Lady of Loreto. So, again, all roads lead to Rome, right? Or the Roman
Yes.
Catholic Church.
Mm.
Everything having been arranged as well as the time would allow, it was reported to the captain who left the ship that all three companies were drawn up in good order on the beach. Royal Ensign came forth with the standard ink in his hand. The banners, which were fluttering, received their tribute from discharges of muskets and arquebuses. That's interesting. The king went down, bent on knee, saying, "To God alone be honour and glory." Then putting his hand on the ground, he kissed it and said, "O land, sought for so long, intended to be found by many and so desired by me." Then formal possession was taken under 6 different headings, the last being possession in the name of His Majesty. So they basically just, come up and they just put a flag and they say, "This is mine."
Well, they slaughtered the chief before this was told.
No doubt. So they've
So,
landed
yeah.
up here somewhere, basically.
Yep. Very interesting research done on that page, Campbell. You need to go and have a look. It's very interesting.
But that's a Facebook page, is it?
No, that's a website you can go on to.
Sorry, that's in Gutenberg. Yeah, first discovery of Australia and New Guinea.
Yep.
Gutenberg website. All right.
So before we go, if we can just quickly, because we spoke about America and India,
yes.
Superior, but there is a map there that actually names America and Australia.
There is. So Australia down the bottom here, we have America, Australis. So this is South America.
Yep, because it always in the old map shows that part touching at the Antarctica.
Down here, yeah. So Terra del Fuego. And yeah, definitely America, Australis. So that's interesting.
Very.
America, Septentrional, that's north, Septentrio. And I think, and people will say this, I guess, is Australis, sometimes means south. Like that's, great land, Australia, all this kind of stuff. But here's the ocean of Australia. Right, or sea, right? The Mare Australi, Dilsand, I don't know what that is, but basically, so South America, New Guinea here, and here's Australia.
Yep.
And in a lot of these old maps, we see really that, they're connected down here, right?
Yes.
Like it goes down and then it pops up over here as Australia, and that's connected and then up to here. So connected that way.
Yep.
Through the bottom.
Well, it did say somewhere that, Zul or Gondwana. Yes, had South America in it. Boom, boom.
Yes. Well, that would make sense.
Mm-hmm.
It was all the southern stuff, wasn't it?
Yes.
And
so
everything?
The last picture we're going to finish up on, because that's a huge one, but we covered it a lot, Campbell. Was a guy, I think it's called Ancient Maps, and it's a guy on Facebook that all he does is study old maps. That's his absolute passion. And he comes up with the most amazing stuff, little quick videos. And it came across my Facebook last night, and it blew me away because, again,
this one,
the veil is lifting on so many people. And I took screenshots.
Yeah.
He found portals on the old map.
Yeah.
And their names. It just blew me away. A 1490 map, apparently.
1490. So here we have 2 doors. And look at these doors. Like in a mountain pretty much, right?
Archways.
We see doorways out. There's a place called Amaru Mu, is it?
Yes.
Amaru Maru, which is
Yes.
a big door that's carved into that rock that's just
Yes.
kind of
In the
sitting
middle
there.
of nowhere. Yep.
Yeah, and that kind of thing is everywhere, right? They just go into rocks. I mean, that's kind of what this looks like,
Yes.
right?
But it's even got the name.
Portal of Caspier. So there you go. The portal of Zagri. Right, and it's been drawn the same way, right? These portals. So, what are portals too, right?
Exactly. So this is
1490 map book. So this is him, ancient maps.
Yes,
and
he's
mystery.
brilliant. He's brilliant.
So there you go. This is if you can't find it, ancient maps and mystery, 1490 map book.
And do you see that? This book was owned by Christopher Columbus.
Portals, 1490. Yeah, I mean, the portals are just in so many books and like fantasy type stories, all these different types of portals, right? Of ways of moving around and.
Yep. But that would add to why we're traveling so easily.
Yeah. Why you find the same stuff everywhere, the same cultures, the same tech, the same, links in language and all, artwork, all this kind of stuff, right?
Absolutely.
All right.
I don't know. Have you seen a video this lady done called I'll have to something monsters, Gods and Monsters. And she talks about the equator and the Tropicana of Capricorn and Cancer. And then she talks about the arches everywhere and what they actually mean. And it's so interesting. And now it just makes me think about these portals that are in these old maps.
Yes, well, I'm going to have to start looking in a bit closer, I think.
Well, you'll find a lot of people will start looking into these old maps and having a really good look.
Yeah. Gods and Monsters. Oh, it's a movie too.
Yeah, Gods and Monsters. She came out with stuff 5 years ago. She talks about she does a six-chapter series. The first, chapter 1 was when she talks about the equator, the top part of the Tropic of Capricorn and the Tropic of Cancer. And she said, when you do astrology, you know that the last time those tropicars were in the solstice and that were in those areas was 4,500 years ago. So does that mean our maps are 4,500 years old?
I mean, they could be. We just don't know, right?
Look, when you read about some of these so-called map designers and explorers, a lot of them didn't go anywhere. A lot of them based their stuff on older maps. They even say it. Columbus based his stuff on older maps.
Yes, source maps. That they all pretty much say that.
And it all based back to that one from 150 AD. And apparently he copied his map from a much older map too that has disappeared.
So exactly how old are these maps that we're looking at? Because that's the issue. I mean, it's a bit of a problem I see is so much change in 500 years, right?
Yes.
How the people's adapted so well after all that. Even like to sea life. If it's just recently gone under the water, like around, especially Tasmania up the west coast, it's just full of like sea life and shellfish and abalone, all that kind of stuff. I mean, I don't know, maybe 400 or 500 years is long enough for that to establish properly. It could be, but
could be.
I don't know. And there's something weird, and that like with the Aboriginals in Australia, if they were living in the buildings and more advanced, they've just got such good bush skills, right? Living in the bush, like that. Again, would take a long time to develop. So there's something going on with the timelines that doesn't quite fit.
On with the timeline, and Definitely when you see what we've just discussed about land masses. The next one we're going to do is what is Gabriel's story to me about the shaking, and that might give you a little bit more of an idea of what's been going on. But this one that I'm talking about, she talks about the equators, and she says that at one stage, I think it was in 2006, they started measuring the distance between the tropical line and the equator at the south and the north, because there's only some parts that you get the sun at its peak at 12 o'clock. Most of the other parts of the world are in darkness. I hope I'm explaining this right, but she said that when they were measuring from 2006, they noticed that the tropical line was moving towards the equator 30 metres. The top Capricorn was moving to the equator 30 metres. The next year, they noticed it was doing exactly the same thing. They stopped measuring in 2010 from memory.
Yeah.
No one's measured. So that means we're getting closer and closer to the equator. And like she said, no wonder our weather patterns have gone crazy.
Yeah, well, I mean, on a flat Earth model, and I'm not saying this is true. I have many questions about the sun.
Yes.
But basically, they say it goes from Tropic of Cancer, the inner circle, then out to the equator, then out to the Tropic of Capricorn, then back to the equator, and that's how we get our seasons and everything. So if the Tropic of Capricorn is moving towards the equator, that means the sun's not as far south. So if that's been going for a long time, is that why it's all ice now? And
Getting
in the
darker.
old maps, it's not. And yeah, the darkness and things like that, because the sun's on a tighter coil, right?
And our seasons. Like
And
she
our seasons have
explained,
gone, yeah, they're not so broad.
she explains that the sun moves four ways. One way, then goes backwards again.
Mm.
But when you look at the constellations and the astrology, not astrology, what's the other one?
Astronomy.
Anyway, yes. It doesn't add up.
Mm.
Because if you look at the solar eclipses and the lunar moons and all that stuff, we shouldn't be in the tropics of Capricorn. And you've done a video on it, Campbell. We shouldn't be in the tropics of Capricorn, or we're not in the tropics of Capricorn. I think she said we're in Gemini.
Yes, yeah. As far as like what they've called them, right? Tropic of Capricorn and Cancer. That's and this is linked to like the precession of the equinox, the movement of the star signs that and so yeah, I think Capricorn and Cancer are from 2 epochs ago. It's because basically we're in the age of Aquarius now.
Yep.
So
4,500 years ago.
Yeah, so the east and west of, if you get the 12 signs and you put Aquarius at the top and then draw a cross, then the east-west should be the tropics.
She explains it so beautifully. But you did a video on it, and it's something that's always bugged me. And when you look at she goes into, when you look into the sun cycles and the past, you look at the arches that we had everywhere in entrances of cities, the arches. Some had one big arch, like in Athens and stuff. Yep. Others had 3 arches.
3, yeah.
And she shows you that the middle arch is for the solstice. So when the sun comes in, it literally charges that centre.
Yep.
And then there's other times where it charges the 2 side bits if it's a 3 arch.
Yeah, which are the equinoxes.
Yes.
Yeah. And yeah.
Fascinating stuff, Campbell.
So, I wonder if they're all still lining up, because there's a lot of... They're not, yeah. Because there's a lot of places too that have just like little holes, where it's the same thing, right? On the solstice or equinox, the sun shines straight through it. And yeah, apparently a lot of them aren't lining up.
I wonder if the shrine is lining up properly.
Yeah, well, people have said that's why they blew up the, what are they called in America? you know, the big blocks that they blew up that were talking about depopulation.
Oh, yep. Is it the stones that oh, I can't remember. Sorry, we've been talking for so long. I've got brain fog
Yes,
now.
tell us in the comments.
Is it the Garrison stone rocks or
No, oh, what
no?
is it?
I can't remember.
But
People will be
it
scanning me
also
screaming
it
at me.
had a it had a circle where the sun was supposed to shine
Yeah.
through, and they were saying, well, it's not missing, you know, it's missing now, so they knocked it over. The Georgia Guidestones.
Sure, that's it. Yep.
Yes.
So I wonder how precise the shrine is now.
Yes.
It relies
Wow.
on the sun.
Yes. Maybe we'll find
out.
out. Yes. October 31st, guys. Tartaria, Australia in Melbourne. Come and check us out.
Come and
Paula's
see
going
it.
to be there. Nikki Penfold, who's done a lot of research on the shrine. Dale. And
I think
no doubt
Rachel
of
might be coming.
yes,
I'm
Rachel
not
might be
sure.
turning up. And yeah, me and Kelly. So come and check it out.
The main people who will be there. Kelly
Yes.
and Campbell. Golly
Link
gosh.
below. Go get your tickets. Come and join us. It's going to be really cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys. Much love to you, darling. And thank you for listening, everybody. I know it's a long one again, but I think it's worth it. Get a lot of information. So yes, the next one, Campbell, I'm going to go into the shaking.
The shaking. All right. And we'll hopefully
the lands.
Get a bit more perspective.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. Give us a like, guys, if you like this. Share it around, all that kind of stuff. Show people what's going on. Subscribe, all that stuff. And we'll see you in a couple of weeks. This one was like about a month, I think, wasn't it? But I've been away in the middle. But we should be back hopefully in a couple of weeks with more of the story.
Absolutely.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Bye,
Paula.
everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Campbell.
Talk to you on the next one.
Bye.